It's took its time, but I think crypto has finally turned risk off. We've been expecting this for. I want to try and keep this simple because I have talked about this for a while in terms of the structure. It did look bearish for a while, and we haven't really had that kind of follow through. So yeah, if it is a bit of a bearish outlook, it is because it is, unfortunately. Let's go on the screen first because my platform's kind of outlining the data a little bit. I have built a little bit of an indicator. I'll go through that in more detail in a second, but we are looking pretty ugly. When we talk about the risk off side of it, the market conditions, yeah, stable currency dominance is rising, funding is slightly positive, and the crowd mood still is technically quite mixed. But overall, it's just looking like a dog's dinner. We're at 11 fear and greed now, not ideal. But ultimately, we are still in the same situation what we've been in for a while. Basically, premature altcoin rotations added into stretch moves. We're getting those high liquidations, and I will talk about that in more detail in a second when we get there. But overall, it's looking like shit. Main reason, we'll talk about the news in a minute, but the outflows from the ETFs. That is quite important in terms of how this market moves. And as of yesterday, you can see net over 5 days, 2.08 billion. We've had zero inflows pretty much. It's been awful. So it's not looking great. And obviously, yes, you can see dry powder is building because people are waiting in the wings to buy. And if you know my channel, if you know my content, you'll know that I've been waiting to buy for a long, long time. So we're still waiting. But other than that, as you can see, dog shit. But yes, we've had a whole chunk of longs flush. I'm not sure what the real data is of more exchanges, but as you can see, it will always happen. Stop losses will get triggered. Liquidations will happen. It will become a problem. So just be very, very mindful. And yes, we now have a lot more ratios to long because we are in those opportunity zones. But let's talk briefly about the news because we've got a situation about obviously fresh airstrikes. Obviously, yes, in the Middle East, it has pushed a little bit of an issue, that geopolitical problem. And that is what makes, unfortunately, this market move more than ever before. So it is a situation of an ever evolving, world of crypto. It is just what it is. And yeah, we see stuff like this as well, down in tools, essentially. Tap tools has wound down a little bit. There's other situations that I cannot go into in terms of my own revenue streams. I'm not going to mention it just yet. So just if you want to guess in the comments, you can. But there is companies out there, especially around UK content creators, that are getting their affiliate deals pulled because of basically tough times. And that is the way it is. It is a pretty brutal bearish market currently right now. I think the problem we have is the lack of, movement, lack of trading opportunities, which is obviously, yes, an issue. But if you are genuinely interested in trading, and I'm going to talk about this only because you can trade futures markets with stocks now, and there's a lot more details coming out of this on Mexes. But the reason why I do recommend this exchange is only because of one massive, massive, massive thing. On the screen, real stocks, zero fees, barely any fees, let's be honest. So jump in the link below. I'm going to showcase it because I am, as you know, in the stock market. I want to trade stocks more. I don't really want to do it on a traditional broker. I just want to do it with my existing crypto just because I want it to be a bit of fun, realistically. You got stuff like Macron Technology, for example, that has done fantastically well over the last couple of months. And we're getting to a point where, yeah, we can trade this using existing cryptocurrency tools, essentially, and get the volatility. We've not had that volatility in the world of crypto for a while. So if you look at the daily chart on here, for example, it has gone pretty berserk. So there may be situations where you can actually genuinely use this, have a little bit of fun with some leverage, and have the returns using a different market, which has been doing obviously very, very well. There's all kinds of stuff here, obviously gold as well. The whole side of it is pretty mental. So if this is something you're interested in, even stock indices as well, by the way, the S&P 500, sometimes in some countries, whatever, you do have restrictions in terms of what you can use. Here, there probably isn't any, which is great. But we do need to talk about this, don't we? The world of crypto. And the problem we have is, where do we go from here? So I have changed my charts a little bit. There is a bit of a new indicator that I've been playing around with for a while now. This is kind of a preset. But as you can see, we've rejected these key levels. Now, I've talked about this before for a long time on the higher time frames. If you've been watching my content, you'll know that I've been like, ooh, this is looking dog shit. This is looking dog shit. And we did the exact carbon copy of this. This didn't go as high. This went a bit higher. But the downtrend has been telling us for a long, long time. It has been bollocks. Long story short. But as you can see, overall, even on the 3-day time frame, risk off. Yes, we're starting to bounce a little bit here. And yeah, like a massive move down to this zone here would be quite a nice little trade. Unfortunately, I didn't put the trade on. I was testing my indicator and I wasn't really 100% happy with the data that I had at the time, but now I've developed it. But ultimately, the market's nuked. Lovely. Well done. However, we have been cautious. I have not been buying any crypto. I've not been bothered by it. I've been waiting and seeing. And I've always said I was always going to skip this zone. This previous all-time high zone within this box, I was like, I'm not buying. Even here, I didn't buy. I wanted to get down to these levels and lower and even into these zones, which might be a bit greedy, but ultimately I do think we are going to go down there at certain points, depending on where we are. And I know people in the comments are like, oh my God, here we go. But we have to have a bigger drawdown. We can't just like recover and go, oh, that's all right, it's good. We're looking towards probably the end of the year anyways, by the time things kind of settle down. But this is why we have bull and bear markets. And if you are a trader, you're probably loving the price action right now because we're actually moving. But yeah, I need to get my head in the game realistically. But yeah, I have developed this. This is going to be something for my own use only. I'm having a bit of fun with it. Nothing too crazy, just between the EMA gaps and understanding the market of risk on, risk off between the trend and what is happening. But ultimately, if you know, the trend is your friend in the world of crypto. Even with altcoins, and I talk about altcoins a lot. If you are interested in altcoins, great. But ultimately, look at the state of some of them. Christ, I mean, some of these have been given some honking downtrends for a while, but ultimately, a lot of sideways consolidation for months and months and months has absolutely starved the market, especially when it comes to volume. So that is a bit of a problem. So yeah, overall, am I happy with the market? No. Is it going to improve? Hopefully. Are we going to get buy opportunities? Hopefully. But we just need to be very, very mindful. Obviously, the likes of Bitcoin dominance doing this. Why is this doing this, Ashley? Why are we not in an altcoin season? Well, it's because money is getting drawn out of the market. Obviously, yes, MicroStrategy has sold this tiny, 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 tiny little piss pebble of Bitcoin recently, whether people like that or not. But yeah, this is giving us vibes that money is getting pulled out of the market right now with this sort of price action. So just be mindful with obviously the stable currency dominance going a little bit higher. And as you can see, that's turned risk on for a lovely little reason. But yeah, that's it. We can't go any further than that. Yes, there's volatility elsewhere. Yes, it's more fun to probably trade stocks or be in, say, UK stocks like myself right now, who is doing pretty well today, to be fair. So yeah, just keep building. Anyways, enjoy. Short, sweet update. Just be mindful. Let's see where we go to.